is mindful morning yoga, and remembering just to opt in or opt out of whatever feels good or right to you. Everything I offer is an invitation, and let it be an invitation. Choose what resonates and what your body says no way, and move on without judgment. So with that, find a comfortable seat, potentially move the flesh of your seat out of the way, letting your sit bones connect to the earth beneath you, wherever you are in this world. And when you've reconnected to those sit bones, grow your spine tall towards the sky. Let your heart be light and reconnect to your breath. Breathing in that beautiful air and out. And for those of you who don't have smoke in your air, enjoy that. I don't have smoke in my air, but I know that there are lots of wildfires around and in the news. So breathing in the delicious smelling, tasting air and letting your body flush out whatever it might like to let go of. We'll take 3 more collective breaths here in whatever way feels good to you. Long and smooth, perhaps. Notice the shift with every breath. Pause here and just notice how you feel after a few breaths. Notice if things feel better, shifted, different, maybe lighter or softer. Notice where your hands are and that connection to whatever body part is underneath them or not. And take another breath to grow tall once again, wrapping your heart with breath, filling each alveoli with breath all the way down to the farthest netherlands, the 12th ribs and those bases of the lungs, flushing everything with breath and letting it out. And we'll bring a hand to heart and another hand atop as we start. And noticing the comfortable way that landed, whichever hand landed on the bottom. And notice how your hands feel like they belong there. Maybe it feels a little uncomfortable if it's new, but that this way of landing felt like it belonged. And enjoy 2 breaths here, breathing into the bottom of your hand, the dorsum of the hand, palmar surface of the hand, sorry. Notice the top hand on the dorsal surface of the bottom hand. Notice them rise and fall with the breath. And switch your hands. This way they feel like maybe they don't belong. And notice that they belong equally well on your heart, on your chest, one hand atop the other. And yet one feels comfortable and one feels unfamiliar. And I thought as a theme today, we would explore this idea of belonging. And for those of you who've been hanging out with me for a while, you know I have been thinking about belonging, and it's one of my words for the year, this idea of belong. And it's something that many women I work with and many women physicians struggle with, and many women in general struggle with. Perhaps all of humanity struggles with this idea of belonging. And we always notice what feels uncomfortable, what feels unfamiliar, and we make that mean that we don't belong. And so the invitation of this class is to decide that you do belong. It's a decision, it's a choice, it's a way of being, belonging. And when I started exploring this, I thought it would be more of a willpower, forcing yourself to go to places you didn't feel comfortable, or standing up on stages you didn't feel comfortable, or joining a group. I've joined a group in my neighborhood to get to know some of the other women who live here, and forcing yourself to go. And what I have learned is that it's much more allowing, just deciding you belong there. And that sense of discomfort or unfamiliar is simply unfamiliar. It doesn't not mean that you don't belong. And you can switch your hands to the more comfortable one that feels like you belong here, and take in a breath. And notice what's the same here. You're still sitting on your mat on this Saturday morning, and you're still breathing, and you're still you. And yet you feel more like you belong. And so allowing yourself to belong is really how you ultimately decide you belong. You sign up and you go. You allow yourself to be in a space. And if you feel self-doubt or imposter syndrome, it's really giving yourself grace, softening in, rather than that willpower to stand up taller and be proud. Just deciding simply that you are there as you, and that you are welcome as you. Remembering that everyone else likely feels also unfamiliar and maybe like they don't belong, even if it doesn't appear that way on the outside. Switching hands to whichever way you want at this point. Notice which way you might like to practice or enjoy today. And sitting up once again a little taller, and breathing in through your nose, breathing in this sense of choice and belonging and being as you are. Brene Brown talks about belonging not as fitting in, but as being who you are. And in medicine, we were taught to fit in. We were taught to be chameleons and to morph ourselves, and that was how we would belong in a system that wasn't built for women or wasn't built for us as individuals. And yet what I would offer is that we need all those individuals. The humans we take care of are individuals. And we can instead, if we choose, decide we belong and show up confident and calm and grounded and belonging, allowing ourselves to belong, noticing how we are the same, and noticing what shared values we have, rather than all the differences. Our brains are trained to notice how we don't belong, what's different, what needs to be fixed or changed. And allowing yourself perhaps to explore this today. If you feel like you don't belong in a pose or it doesn't work for your body, how does it work? What tweak do you need to make it yours? If you just showed up as you, what would your yoga look like? What would your clothes look like? How would you move through your days? What would you choose to do today and tomorrow? So letting those thoughts percolate, allowing yourself to enjoy a feeling, a sense of belonging, community, and connection here on your mat. Yoga is about connecting, exploring, connecting to yourself, connecting to others, connecting to the greater world and to common humanity. Could you carry some of that belonging that you find on your mat and you find in this sacred yoga space, and carry it with you, tucking it into that pocket behind your heart, that retrocardiac space, noticing how you belong as you, that you belong in your uniqueness. And even your thoughts that you don't belong show that you do belong, because everyone thinks they don't belong, as it turns out, until they've decided that they do. That's the only difference. So sitting with that for a moment, how might you decide that you belong, or choose that you belong, or allow yourself to belong? I find in my experience, It's more of the not allowing myself to belong, to be noticing and standing different. And what if you choose to stand among as yourself? And notice that when others do that, it feels good. What if you could also do that? So take a moment here and let that sit. Let your hands be as they want. Notice the simplicity of the chest rise and fall, breathing in and breathing out. And when that feels complete, rubbing your hands together, creating a little heat and energy, bring your thumbs into your sternum and set your own intention, your version, not the fitting in version, but the you version. And how might that tie into this invitation of a sense of belonging or belong? Finding spaces in which you belong, choosing those spaces, or choosing to cultivate, create those spaces maybe. Whatever feels good. Taking 2 more breaths here, setting that intention. 1 more big breath here. And when that feels complete, lowering your hands and opening your eyes. Just take a moment to belong in your body, shaking out all the stuff that doesn't need to be there. I like to get rid of. And maybe it's a lot of shaking, maybe it's a little. Find your sit bones once again and stretch your legs long, being kind, undoing whatever got kinked there. Spreading your toes wide, enjoying your individual toes, however they look today. Letting the bottoms of your feet stretch, letting the energy shift. And relax the toes and point the toes gently. Using your belly, sitting up tall, and flex the ankles, toes come towards your knees. And once again, point and flex. Bring hands to your thighs and slowly slide down towards your shins. Let the energy move, practicing the allowing, maybe even a little discomfort. And notice if you rock, if it's a little easier. Remember to breathe, noticing that the breath makes everything easier. And sliding up your shins to your knees, to your thighs. Spread your legs wide. If you happen to be on a block or a bolster, tip towards the front. Spread your toes wide once again and relax them and walk hands forward towards the floor, towards the front. And once again, allow the energy to shift. Notice if you want to bend your elbows or not. Letting energy move, wiggling toes. And when you feel ready, walking back upright. Engage your belly and reach your arms to the sky. Shimmy your side body. Inhale and grow as tall as you can, filling every nook and cranny of you with breath and good positive energy, allowing it to seep into the nooks and cracks, practicing the allowing. Twist leftward, exhale, release the breath. Inhale, grow as tall as you can. And exhale, wring out your belly and anything else you'd like to let go of. Maybe the stuff that isn't you. Maybe the resistance to belonging. Just allowing that you belong perfectly here in this space on your mat, wherever you are in the world. Letting go of that energy directed towards not belonging. Inhale, reach to the sky. Grow as tall as you can. Exhale, twist all the way rightward. Left hand on the right thigh. Right hand behind you. You might reach it to the ground or you might not. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, wring it out. Notice your neck and notice if you want to bring your chin towards your shoulder, what happens. Lifting your chin back to neutral, reach your arms to the sky, twist back to center. Opening your arms down by your thighs, maybe behind you. Pick your hips up and readjust, slide forward, get comfortable. And you'll slide your left hand down your left leg, reach your right arm over, opening up the right rib cage. Create some space. Let it feel soft and easy. Big breath in here. Exhale, let it out. and switch sides. Flop over to the other side or move with grace, you choose. Coming back to center. You'll grab the outer edges of your thighs, bring the soles of your feet together, come into butterfly pose, and decide if you need to readjust your bolster or come off, you choose. And have a moment just to flap your wings, sitting up tall, maybe grab your ankles, rock side to side. And when you're ready, grab your arches and round forward. Release head and neck. And just letting go of any crunchiness, staleness, resistance, anything that would like to go. Breathing in that softness and malleability and flexibility, maybe some acceptance and allowing. Fill the chest, wrap your heart with breath, and exhale, round forward a wee bit more. Perhaps bend your elbows and notice where you hit maybe an edge and just let yourself soften and allow. Coming back up right, you'll bring your knees together and hug your knees into your chest, giving them a nice tight squeeze, sitting up as tall as you can in this ball, and just squeeze and hug and enjoy all that sensation for a moment. And release. And you'll move your blocker, your bolster will come to hands and knees. And enjoy a cat-cow. Let your belly enjoy it. Maybe moving slower, maybe moving faster. Do what feels good, letting it be a nice exploration here. And take a moment here, come onto your forearms, slide into Sphinx pose, belly on the earth, the front of your hips grounding into the earth, tops of the feet on the floor. Your heart is shining forward. The crown of the head reaches to the sky. Notice your shoulders. Are they scrunched? Do you want to drop them? Enjoy the stretch in the belly and the front of the hips planted into the earth. Notice your lower back. Curl your toes, shift back to child's pose. Your seat will reach down towards your heels, knees apart, toes together. Let your third eye land on the earth. Walk your hands over to the left. Right hand atop the left hand, stretch the right side body. Root your right hip all the way backward. Right hand all the way forward atop the left hand. Enjoy a really big stretch. And you'll walk the other way, all the way. Left hand atop right. Stretch, root your left hip back. Breathe as deeply as you can, nourishing every little cell in your belly and your waist, especially anything that might feel tender or want attention. Letting even those tender spots belong. Notice we often want to make them go away if they don't feel good. Knowing they're all part of the human experience. Shoot your hips back, come back to center, waggle your hips a little and stretch a little bit farther forward, lengthening the armpits, letting your seat root back towards your heels and your toes, and your fingers reach as far forward as they can. Big breath in and out. Coming back to tabletop. And we're going to lift up to be on your knees. Some of you might need a blanket under your knees, maybe not, maybe not. Bringing your left knee out to the side at 90-degree angle. And you're going to turn your hips towards the front. And your knee is at 90 degrees, your foot is flat. Reach your arms to the sky. Lower your hand to your left knee and reach over. Enjoy that stretch on the right side body. Reaching the left hand to the sky. twist towards the left and drop your right hand. And your left hand's going to wrap into the right hip crease. Gaze over that left shoulder. And you'll unwrap, coming back to center. Bring your hand to your right hip and stretch that left leg long. Slide your left hand down it and reach over. Enjoy your right side body here. And cartwheel back up. Bring your right hand down the right side and your left hand over. You're going to need to use your belly here to not tip over. Coming back to neutral. Bring your hands to your hips and you'll switch sides, so you'll be on your left knee, your right leg comes out. And if you did the other side, fine. Bend that knee. And you'll bring your right hand to the right thigh and reach over. Let it feel good. Coming back to center, reach both arms up and twist. Wrap your left hand into the left hip crease. Really twist, gaze over the right shoulder. And come back to center, hands on your hips. Stretch your right leg long. Find your balance. Slide your hand down the right leg and reach your left arm over. Find steady in your center. And you'll switch sides, so your left hand comes down by the left thigh, reach over. Use your belly here to not tip over. Coming back upright. Bring your hands to your hips and you'll come back to your knees and you'll sit back. You can tuck your toes under you for the broken toe. If you hate that, do camel. Or you can just stay up on your knees or stay on hands and knees for a minute or two. Curl your toes under, including that baby pinky toe, leaning back and enjoy the stretch. Noticing that the unfamiliar and the shifts, letting things shift, practicing the allowing, letting each toe belong and be seen just as it is, and notice the tension and discomfort. It's part of it. Rocking back and forth, lifting up when you've had enough and lower down for a tiny bit more. When you feel complete, bring your hands to the floor and bang out your feet. Really bang, because it's fun. Banging out anything, any frustrations, anger. And pause in your tabletop. Find steady. Walk your hands forward, a handprint, curl your toes, and lift up to downward dog. And enjoy your dog here. Find a space where it feels like you belong. It might be a shorter dog, a longer dog. Notice what your hips would like as they reach to the sky. And think about your heels. Do you want to have one heel down and alternate both heels down? What is your body craving and asking for? And let that be fine. None is better or the other. Part of the sense of belonging is recognizing non-judgmentally that all the options are good. Noticing your breath here, upside down, is it catching? Can you let it flow? Can you not resist and allow? Pour that breath into every nook and cranny of your lungs, your lower back, all the way up to your pelvis and your groin sticking up in the sky. Notice if you're holding your neck tight. Huge breath in and out. Ground into the left foot. Raise your right leg to the sky. Take a moment here, press your heel into the back wall, three-legged dog, find steady. Bend your knees, stack your hip, let it feel good. Roll your ankle. Re-square your hip, press your heel into the back wall. We're going to come into pigeon here. If you can't do pigeon, come into a high lunge maybe.
Inhale and press your heel to the back wall as hard as you can, everything engaged. Exhale, bring your foot between your hands and come into a proud pigeon, reaching towards the sky, and invite your right hip to experience it. Take a moment, maybe rock, breathe, let it settle. Notice how it feels. And if you're up in a high lunge, just notice how it feels, or maybe a low lunge, you choose. And for those in pigeon, lower towards the floor, allowing the shifts, remembering to breathe, remembering that the breathing is part of the allowing and part of the belonging. All humans need to breathe. Lifting back up to proud pigeons, arching a wee bit. Let your belly stretch. Plant your hands and untangle into downward dog. And walk your dog under your hips, getting rid of all the stale old stuff. Maybe even those deeply rooted beliefs that you're different and don't belong and spaces are for others. Ground into your right foot, raise your left leg to the sky, press your heel into the wall, everything engaged. When you're ready, stack your hips, roll, let it feel juicy and good. When you're ready, re-square and come into proud pigeon on this side or the high lunge if you did that. Enjoy your hip here. It might look different on this side. Arch your belly, untuck your back toes. Let the breath pour into every nook and cranny. And if something hurts, don't stay there. Let it shift to a spot that doesn't hurt. Lower down. And breathe. Remember to breathe. Maybe close eyes and just notice what's coming up. Most of the time in pigeon, things bubble up, using the breath to move them and shift them. The discomfort doesn't mean there's something wrong with you or something's not working. Pain does, but discomfort doesn't. Rising back up to a proud pigeon. Take a moment to be proud and enjoy whatever pigeon shape you've got going. And when you're ready, plant hands and untuck, untangle, and be kind. Enjoy a release, whatever that looks like. Make it a more narrow down dog. Left hand comes to the right ankle, gaze under the right armpit, and enjoy a pretzel wrap. Stretch the back of the left shoulder. Appreciate the view under the right arm. And switch sides. Right hand comes to the left ankle, gaze under the left armpit. Stretch that right shoulder. Come back to down dog and find a steady down dog. Ground into the left foot. Raise your right leg. Reach. Inhale and gently bring your foot between your hands. We're going to cartwheel up to warrior two. Find steady when you arrive in warrior two. And breathe. Take a minute to let things digest, integrate, marinate. Maybe roll your wrist, starburst your hands, lifting up all 10 toes, rooting them down, sinking down a little into that warrior two, maybe even wiggling your toes a little farther forward. Take a moment to wrap the left inner thigh medially, engage both glutes, gaze over your right middle finger into the drishti or direction you're headed. Flip the right hand up and tilt back into graceful warrior. Elegant warrior. Pausing to think about bringing grace to this belonging, grace rather than force or pushing
or strength or doing it hard, just softening in. Is there a space where you might just soften in and allow that you belong, believe you belong? Not forcibly, but just maybe letting go of this idea that you don't. Cartwheel back to warrior two. Bend your front knee a wee bit more, bend your elbow and reach over, stretch the left side body coming into side angle. If you have a block and you want to use the block for side angle, you can do that too. It might feel good. You choose. If you want to raise your right hand, you can. Lowering the right hand, cartwheel back up to warrior two, bend your front knee and come into triangle pose. Reach far, far, far in front like the little teapot. Lower your hand to the block and reach that left hand to the sky. Come into triangle pose. Draw your left hand back and notice all the triangles. Take a moment to notice your feet, the bottoms of your feet, your 10 toes, your legs, your inner thighs, your glutes, your waist, your chest, and breathe into both hands. Exhale, let it out. Bring your left hand to your left hip. We're going to come into half moon because I love it. If you don't like it, just hang out in triangle. If you have a wall behind you, you can do it against the wall. It's much easier. It's more supported. How's that? Bend your front knee. Grab that block. And if you don't have a block, you can do it without a block, but it's trickier. Hop your back foot forward. Move the block forward about 18 inches. And you'll raise your back leg to the sky. If you can, raise your left hand to the sky. And balance. And don't worry if you topple, that's all right too. Bring your hand back to your hip if you want more steady. And when you're ready, lower your foot. Bring your hand back to triangle or trikonasana. Reach that left hand to the sky. And rise back upright. Bring your hands to your waist and you'll turn your toes to the front. Grab the block if you happen to have it. If you don't need it. Turn your toes to face the side of your mat and fold forward into a wide angle forward fold. Let the blood flow shift. Breathe. If you want, walk your hands back behind you between your legs and let your head fall a little bit further. If you have high blood pressure, use the blocks or a chair or something, hands on your hips, and keep your back flat. Allow the shifts here. And remember to breathe. The breathing is what brings the softening. It's what brings the allowing. Allow the energetic shifts in the back of the legs. Lifting up all 10 toes, wherever you are here, lower them down. Bring your hands back sort of to neutral, and you'll walk to right hand to the left ankle, left hand to the sky. Enjoy a little twist. Roll your wrist. Maybe bend that left knee. See what happens here as much as you can. And straighten it. Reach the left hand to the sky, sorry. Lower your hands, walk over to the right side. Left hand to right ankle, right hand reaches to the sky, roll your wrist. Maybe bend the right knee. Use your glutes here to be nice. Straighten your knee, roll your wrist. And you can opt out of anything that doesn't work for your body. Bring your hands back to center. Bend your knees. And you're going to bend your left knee, walk your hands over to the left foot, straight your right leg, your right toes are going to reach to the sky. If you want to bring the block over to the left side to be upright, you can. Let it feel good. Point, flex the right foot, sorry. Bring your hands to the earth and you'll shift sides. Bend your right knee as full as you can, straight your left leg, wiggle those left toes. And if you want to sit more up, you can. You can do it without a block too. Bring hands back to center. Straight your knees. Fold forward once more.
Lifting to a half lift. Turn your left toes towards the back of the mat. You're going to walk towards to face the back of the mat and plant your hands. Step into downward dog facing the other way. And if you like to face the TV or me or however you've got it set up, you can turn the other way. That's fine too. And just walk the dog here, hanging out in downward dog. Breathe a bit. Notice anything. Ground into your hands and the right foot, raise your left foot to the sky, coming into the three-legged dog. Steady your hands. Bring your foot between your hands, cartwheel up to warrior two. Have your block nearby if you need to rearrange. And take a minute when you arrive to find steady, find your toes, bend your knee, maybe make it longer than you think. Notice the bottoms of your feet, all 10 toes, the outer edge of the back foot, all four corners of the front foot. Notice your thighs and your glutes. Notice that left knee, if it's coming medially, draw it outward. Your belly, grow tall. Gaze is over the left middle finger. That's your drishti. Flip that front palm up and tip backwards into graceful, elegant warrior. Breathe. Pour the breath in. Bend your front knee a little bit more and cartwheel forward into side angle. Grab a block if that feels good to you. Bring your right arm over the right ear. Pick up your left hand if that's fun. Lower it down. Cartwheel back up to warrior two. Straight your front knee and lean all the way forward, the little teapot as far forward as you can. Drop your hand, come into Trikonasana or triangle. Let it feel good. And if anything is bothering you, readjust. Pain is not good. Discomfort is okay. Bring your right hand to your right hip. We're going to come into half moon. And if that doesn't work, just stay in triangle. Bend that front knee, hop your back foot forward about 18 inches. Bring your hand and the block 18 inches in front of the left foot, and you'll raise your right foot to hip height. Find your balance. Adjust your left hand if need be. And if it works for you, reach your right hand to the sky. And see if you can not judge the shape you've ended up in or the tippiness. But if you can allow it, that it belongs, it's welcome. It's your awesome half moon, whatever it looks like. Bring your hand back to your hip. Bend your front knee. Come back to Trikonasana or triangle. And rise up. Bring your hands to your hips. Move the block out of the way. And you'll heel toe your feet back to center. Shake things out. And when you've shaken them, shook them out, pause in Tadasana or mountain pose, letting things land. Close eyes and just notice how you feel. How does it feel to be in your body just as you are, wherever you are, however old you are, whoever you're with or not with? What if you belong just right here, right as things are, even if they're not perfect? What if you belong in the community of people practicing here today? And what other spaces and places do you belong? Maybe you belong everywhere.
maybe you don't want to belong everywhere. So maybe you belong in places that feel like they would be nourishing to you. And maybe sometimes you don't know and you show up and it isn't that you don't belong, but it isn't where you want to be. That's different. But I think we often say, oh, I don't belong there. Huge breath in and out. Maybe a horse's breath out, breathing in once again. And bring a hand to heart, another hand to top, and just notice your heart space here. Bringing your hands together, palms together, rubbing them, bring your thumbs to your sternum, finger pads to the sky, and open your eyes. Take a moment here. Lift up onto your tippy toes, letting your ankles wiggle and wobble. And you'll press your thumbs into your sternum and slowly lower down. Use your thighs and let your butt sink. And bend your knees until you land at the bottom. Take a moment here. Thumbs pressing into the sternum. When you're ready, press in a little firmer and lift up slowly. Lots of wiggles and wobbles. Lifting up as high as you can. Lower your feet. Lower your hands and shake it out. We're going to come into a yogi squat. You can use your block if you want, or just simply lower down. Bring your hands between your legs towards the floor. Your heels may or may not reach the floor. And you'll bring your elbows to your inner thighs, your palms together, and letting yourself sink in here. If you can reach your sternum, let that happen. And take a moment here in this squat to notice how you feel. And you may be on a block, that's totally fine too. Sitting on a block. Bring your right hand to the earth and reach your left hand to the sky, coming into a bit of a twist. You might even wrap your left hand into your right hip crease and twist a little. And you'll reach that left hand back to the sky if it is not there. Lower down and you'll switch sides. Right hand to the sky, wrap if you wish. Reaching it back to the sky. And come back to your yogi squat. Bring your hands back together. Take a moment. See if you can close your eyes. Let your heels reach towards the floor, or maybe they're on the floor. Lower hands, turn your toes to the front and release into a forward fold. Grasp elbows and hang out here for a minute. Juicy bend in the knees, release your lower back, breathe. And take a moment to find your center, your steady, lifting up all 10 toes, find the four corners of your feet. Breathe, find steady. Lower hands to the floor. Engage your belly and roll up, reaching your arms out and up towards the sky. Your palms will come together, slight arch back, and drop your hands to center. Pause here for a moment. Lower your hands to Tadasana and pause there. Open eyes if they're closed and just shake things out, really shake them out. And we're going to come into tree pose, whatever tree feels good to you. It's one of my happy poses right now. It's funny how they shift, but right tree trunk, lifting up all 5 toes on your right foot, root them down, kickstand that left foot, slide it up to your calf or your inner thigh, hands to heart or hands to the sky, you choose. And when you're ready, branches, no branches, let this be a tree that feels good to you. Let it be a breathing tree, however. remembering that we breathe with the trees. We even belong as a tree, whatever a tree looks like. Maybe your arms will stretch wide. See if you can stay balanced. Bring hands back to heart center. You'll draw your knee forward and stretch it long. Bend it. Stretch it long. Bend it. And if you wish, you can tip forward into Warrior 3, which is also one of my favorites right now. And reach your arms, let yourself fly. Your hands might reach back. They might reach forward. You choose. Bring hands to hips and slowly coming back upright. Lower your foot and really shake it out. Hands, ankles, all the things. Maybe have a vigorous shake, getting rid of anything else in there that after this time on your mat is ready to go. Find steady, left tree trunk, lifting up toes, lower all 5 toes like roots, 4 corners of your feet. Kickstand your right foot, slide it to your calf or your inner thigh, you choose. Draw the right knee back a wee bit though. And you can raise your arms to the sky or come to heart center. And when you're ready, let your branches grow. Maybe let them change with the wind or the seasons. Maybe they'll come out to a T. Maybe they'll come to a steeple. You choose. Noticing that whatever tree you've got belongs here. Similarly, in whatever spaces you find yourself. Bring your hands back to heart center from wherever they are. Draw your knee forward, extend, and bend. Extend and bend. And we'll tip forward into Warrior 3 from here, if you wish. And let it look like whatever it looks like on this side. It might be different. Maybe really different, apparently. And when you're ready, coming back upright and shake it out. And we will come to lie on the floor. If you have a block or a bolster, grab that. And if you don't. And land on the earth however you like. I am choosing knees bent today. There's not a right option. Knowing that it's a practice. You can lie on the floor in whatever way feels good to you, and that can be a-okay. Letting yourself melt into the floor. Notice what's there. Allow the integration. Knock your knees together, your feet to the sides. Reach your arms overhead into an easy cactus and windshield wiper your knees. From one side to the other, in whatever pace feels good to you. You might wish slow, you might wish fast. You might just want to hang out on one side. You get to choose. Come back to stillness in the center. Walk your feet together and your knees apart. Come into Supta Baddha Konasana. Hand to heart, hand to belly. Take a moment to connect back to yourself. Connect back to this idea of belonging. What if you belonged just as you were? What if you could stop noticing how you don't belong and labeling the feelings of unfamiliar as not belonging or something wrong? Notice your chest rise and fall, any tension that comes with those thoughts. Breathing in, pour the breath in through your nose, down into your groin, down to your feet, down to your big toes, down to each and every toe connecting. And exhale it the other way. We'll do that once again. Bring your hands to your thighs, bring your knees together, and you'll walk your feet out to hips width. Bring your heels towards you and lift up into bridge. If you have something to make it a supported bridge, like a block or a bolster, do that. And if you don't, it can be a active bridge. If you have something to be on, put the block under your hips and let them settle firmly grounded onto the block or the bolster. And take a moment here, letting things pour back towards your heart, towards your head. And with intention, release the hip flexors. Notice them. If you're in an active bridge, engage your glutes and lift up and enjoy the undoing in the chest. If you can, stretch one leg long and notice what happens. If it bothers your lower back, stop and don't do it. If that feels good, you can extend your other leg alongside. Notice if that feels good. And if it doesn't, come back to the supported bridge. And even if you have, come back to the supported bridge. If you're in an active bridge, lower down and relax and let it integrate. So wherever you are, let this integrate. Lift your hips up to the sky a little bit. Slide the block or bolster out and lower down onto the earth. Bring your right ankle above the left knee and come into a figure four. Right elbow goes into the right knee, knees and are flexed, ankles are flexed. Release your hip. And let this be as squeezy and tight as you like or not. You choose. Release your hand from the left thigh. Bring your arms overhead. Come into a figure four twist. Your right foot will drop to the left. Everything will drop to the left. I feel good. Come back to center. Uncross your feet. Switch sides. Left ankle on the right, and you'll thread your hands through. Enjoy figure four. Squeezy or stretchy, whatever feels good, you choose. When that feels complete, release your hands and lower your right foot to the floor. Twist to the right. Left foot comes to the right. Your arms can be overhead. You might gaze to the left if that feels good. Gaze comes back to center. Knees come back to center. Uncross your knees. And come into a squeezy ball. Knees come into your chest, squeezing tight, tight, tight. Everything is squeezing. Releasing a bit, lower head to the floor and rock side to side all the way to the edges. Massage your sacrum. And slowly release your knees, lower your feet to the floor. We're going to come into Shavasana here. You could do a reclining butterfly or a long stretch. You could put that bolster under your legs if you wish, or not. You choose. Allow yourself to settle in here. Palms open to the sky if that's okay for your shoulders. A bit away from your waist in that receptive, allowing spot. Allow yourself to sink into the earth. to belong here, resting on your mat, wherever you are in the world, exactly as you are, whatever your body looks and feels like, whatever you're wearing, whatever weather is around you, allowing it to be, and allowing a sense of belonging. And if that's not acceptable, perhaps just letting go of the sense of not belonging. Can you just simply be right here as you are? Not needing to fit in, but just be you. On your mat, resting, letting the earth hold you, letting go of control of the breath. Shavasana. You can stay as long as you like. If you're ready to come out, gently begin to deepen your breath. Ever so slowly, wiggle one finger and then a few more. Maybe your toes. Maybe invite a stretch. Let the stretch feel amazing, fill you with breath and kindness and energy. Taking in another big inhale here. And a huge exhale. Roll over to one side and pause there. In that curled up spot, maybe your arm is a pillow or the block or bolster is a pillow. Allow for a moment this idea of belonging, maybe inviting it, maybe acknowledging a desire to let go of the frequent reminders of how you don't fit in here or there. And maybe just allowing this idea that maybe you do, just as you are. The training to fit in everywhere is no longer necessary. In fact, maybe never was. Someone else just told you you should. What if you just decided you belonged? Like, I will say many men decide that. Just choose. I believe it. When you feel ready to come back into the world, pressing into your hands and coming up to a comfortable seat where I invite you to drop right back into that Shavasana state. Close your eyes, bring hands to heart, taking a moment to honor however you feel in this moment. Notice your chest rise and fall with the breath. Thank you all so much for practicing with me today. May you all have a week of feeling like you belong, experimenting, deciding, choosing, allowing, inviting, doing things you enjoy because you're you, spending more time being you and showing up as you, and enjoying what happens. Have a beautiful week and a beautiful weekend. Namaste.